Hello everybody, welcome back to another story. Today we got one called I Got My Horns Today. It is by user AffectionateLeave, who seems to be a pretty prolific writer, and they also do artwork for their stories. This one has a pretty cool artwork, which I will pop up on the screen now. And they also made the artworks for the Tales from the Creeps subreddit. So that's pretty awesome in my opinion. They're credited in the description and everything. But I don't really have anything else to say, so let's get right into it. I like to watch them crawl when I flipped over rocks and logs. That's where they hid. It was getting colder and there were less of them now. That meant less days to play. Climbing trees, digging holes, up, down, anywhere but right here. Why can't you be like the others? The grown-ups would say. The others were even less polite. Kids were mean. Billy was the meanest. Mommy said it was because he liked me, and I didn't understand. I named one of the spiders Billy, and then I smashed it. The kids I wanted to play with were way up in the mountains, far away from here, too high for me to climb. Come inside, Char. You'll catch a cold. Charlie. What a cruel name to give to a girl. School was a scary place for a daughter with her daddy's name, the name he wanted to give a son. Mommy's little girl, playing with bugs instead of dolls. So far, this story's got one thing right. Who the fuck names their kid Charlie? Sorry to any Charlies out there. I guess Moist Critical's kind of cool. Other than that, though. Oh, and I'm not even just talking about girl Charlies. I'm talking about all Charlies. Continuing on. Oh, how proud they both must have been. Muddy hands patted clean against my dress. I knew better than to wait for her second call. My shoes on the step. My mom hated dirty shoes, so I stopped wearing them. I liked when I couldn't feel my toes. I loved to feel warmth. Needle prick my feet as they thawed. One of nature's little gifts. You're filthy. In the bath with you, Mommy ordered, with the snap of a dish rag as I ran up the stairs. Water ran down the drain while I hid in my room. I stared at the trees from my window. I wished I could be deep in the woods beyond her shout. Snow was on the mountain tops, and soon it would cover everything. I held a funeral for summer in my head, and my tears fell with the leaves. My room was getting smaller each year, and I am more complicated. The days were slow, and I begged to be let out. Many dangers, Daddy warned. Hunters, both man and beast, and the biggest predator of all, the cold itself. I knew it was for my own good, but it sure felt like punishment. I watched them play without me. Birds dug in the snowy patches, rabbits chased each other, the elk scratched their antlers against the trees, if they had any. Only the bulls, cows didn't get antlers. I thought that was unfair. My favorite of them were the mountain goats. Way up high above the rest, I could see them jump and run up and up. They wore wonderful white coats and had beautiful black ring horns. Oh, the horns. Not just the billies. Nannies would get them too. Even the kids had little buttons that would grow into yearling spikes. I felt my forehead for buttons, waiting for my own life to begin. I slept in a nest of leaves under the stars. Something cried out into the night. I woke in my bed, disappointed it was only a dream. I heard the noise again, bleeding. Could it be? It was still dark. I had to go out there. What if it needed my help? It cried louder. I could feel its pain in my chest. I snuck quietly down the stairs. I could hear Mommy's words repeating in my head. Daddy's warnings. Stay inside, Charlie. The back door fought against the wind like it, too, wanted me to stay inside. I grabbed my coat, a promise to be careful. A cold so cold it burned my cheeks. I stepped closer, my hand shaking, and the bleeding grew louder. The poor thing had tumbled all the way down the cliff, right into my backyard. A gift from nature. Alright, and here, call me cruel, but there's no way in hell I'm going outside in the cold to save anything. Unless it's like my child. Whenever I have a child, I would go into the cold to save it. But even then, I would probably think it's like a fucking Wendigo or something, and I wouldn't do shit. Okay? So, Yeah, this little girl's braver than me. Common theme that I think I've mentioned throughout these episodes. But no, it is crazy. Cold, so cold that it's burning just naturally. That sucks. I wonder if it's always like that in this setting. I kind of wonder where they are. Do you think they're in Antarctica? That's the coldest place around, right? I don't know. Continuing on. It was beautiful. I'd never been so close. Steam rolled from the nostrils and blood speckled the snow. It kicked, it screamed, but could not get up. My petting seemed to calm it, or maybe the end was close. I'm a bad climber too. I showed the goat the stitch marks on my arm from when I fell out of a tree last summer. I didn't want to let go of the moment, but I couldn't let it hurt anyone. I held a heavy rock overhead and took aim. The second smash seemed to stop its suffering, but I brought it down a third time just to make sure. Whoa, that's not where I expected this to go. If I'm being honest, I thought she was going to be an animal lover. And yeah, I wouldn't do that to my baby, to be clear. So I'm revising my statement from earlier. I would go outside in the cold to save my baby. I would not go outside in the cold to smash my baby's head in with a rock. I would just leave it there to die. I worked carefully with the sharp rock, always minding the horns. I freed them little by little. They stayed together, just as they were meant to. They were perfect. I tied them to my head with the string from my coat. It was harder work than I thought, and it kept me warm. I rose to my feet. A great horned shadow stretched across the ground in the harvest sun. I'd never felt more me. The mountain called to me, so I climbed. The ground grew steep and slick the higher I went. My legs shook, but I kept climbing. Critters darted over and under me, but they weren't afraid. Whenever I felt like giving up, the weight of my horns tipped forward, and I followed. A shot echoed through the mountains. Everything scattered, and I ran too. My breath was sharp. Something was wrong. I looked back, and the snow behind me was red. I walked when I couldn't run. Then I stood when I couldn't walk. I felt the pain in my chest again, a deep burning, and I looked down. Oh my, I'd been tagged. Was I really that convincing? I lost my footing and tumbled. Twibs and rocks poked at me like little knives hiding in the snow. I rolled into a bank near the bottom. I'd taken bigger falls, I thought, as I tried to catch my breath. Pennies, that taste when you've brushed your teeth too hard. My lungs felt full, but I still fought for air. The world spun in circles. I peeked up into the trees. The morning light blinked back. Cold was creeping in, and the warm was leaking out. I knew I'd probably drown in my own blood before the cold took me. I tried to find comfort in that. I reached up for my horns and smiled. They were still there, and I pulled the knot tighter. Footsteps crunched the snow close, then closer. A boy with a rifle stood over me, then a man. You couldn't have known, boy. No one could have imagined something like this. Billy's father was taking him hunting. It's all Billy had talked about in class. He was so excited. His eyes met mine. I couldn't tell that this wasn't what either of us had in mind, but I knew nothing could sour the moment. What a special day. I got my horns today, and Billy got his first kill. One of nature's little gifts. That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah. Not where I expected it to go at all. I expected it to be... Well, I knew it was relatively short. I expected it to be a little longer, and I expected this girl to either be well, she was completely crazy, but I expected her to go completely crazy, or I expected her to... I don't fucking know. But the story was really good. I enjoyed reading that. And yeah, Billy fucking sucks. That motherfucker doesn't have eyes. He was hunting like this. That's what I expect. That's what I think he was doing. Because how the fuck can you not tell? You saw that picture earlier. That bitch doesn't look anything like a fucking goat. Except for the horns. That fucking horns don't make the man, okay? Fucking 3 inches is a lot too. But yeah, 2 cents horror story time. Sorry to make this one so short, but I'm watching some Solo Leveling right now, so I gotta rush through it and get back to my anime. You know what I'm saying? I binged all of season 1 today. I've read the comic before too, but right now I'm watching, and then I'll pick back up the comic wherever the season 2 leaves off. But I'll be right back with the 2 sentence horror story. Oh boy, I can't Yes, you can, said the sentence interrupter, who interrupted my sentence. Lazy fucking video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And have a wondrous rest of your day. Imagination.